Hey guys, Carly Sunshine here, and I'm doing another video log while I drive because it's so simple to do, and it seems to be about the only spare time I have lately. And it's raining, of course. It seems like it's always raining when I'm doing these video logs, so you're probably hearing the rain in the background. I apologize. But I wanted to talk a little bit, like I've said before, sometimes these video logs are just something that's therapeutic for me. And I'm hoping that other people listening are, it's just resonating with them and maybe it can help them as well. You're always seeing me after 9 hours of work, so I apologize. I was just outside in the rain, helping to restock 80-pound bags of concrete outside of my building. So, it is what it is. You get what you get after work. So I want to talk a little bit about like relationships and friendships and acquaintances, companionship, friends, and how that's all going down during this pandemic and this craziness and this, I don't like to say it's a fake virus because something is definitely going on, but I would like to say during this panic, because there's so much panic and overreaction happening and so much fear and so much uneducation and disinfo that it's just out of control, and I cannot believe how easily it has been to manipulate so many people. And I'm finding more and more, as the days go by, it makes it really hard for me to cope when I'm realizing that there's such a big drastic difference between myself and how a lot of the rest of the world looks at things. So many people are so easily manipulated, especially by fear. And it's ironic to me because I struggle with severe anxiety, like debilitating anxiety. But I'm not letting this get to me. But it bothers me more that I have people that I care for, people that are very close to me, that are having a very aggressive reaction to all of this, especially to those of us who really, really care about our freedoms being taken away. And these friends are more concerned about, they're panicking, and they are falling into the fear of the overreaction of this pandemic. The numbers, the testing, treatment, people that are getting sick and the people that are dying. Like, to start it off with, I had a fellow employee come into work today. He's been off work for a little while because he had surgery. And he thinks that we're not doing enough. Although here he is shopping, coming in to visit, and all he's got on is a paper mask that was probably laying on the floor somewhere in India or China, being made for half a cent, per mask. Nothing sterile, nothing safe, and nothing that's going to block a virus. And he's in there talking with all of us, but you get this false sense of security while you're wearing that stupid mask. And he thinks that we're not doing enough. He thinks we should have been shut down this entire time, our building. Because he found out that a 60-some-year-old man that he knew apparently died from the COVID-19. But the rest of the story is the man has COPD. He has a degenerative lung disorder. He has an inflammatory lung disorder. He has a problem breathing already. And Lord knows how many other issues he would have that would go along with COPD. I mean, COPD is already going to be hindering your body's ability to utilize your oxygen and to be able to breathe correctly. And then, so that's going to put a strain on your organs, like your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, high blood pressure, probably high pulse rate maybe, and then probably on a lot of poisonous medication. And unfortunately for that gentleman, he got this, and this employee that came in, is like, yeah, it definitely was that. They tested him. I said, that like 80% of the tests are false positives. Oh, well, that's what he died from. Okay. But he also had COPD. And then you feel really, like, I'm not trying to be heartless. I feel really terrible that the guy died. feel bad when anybody dies. Like, I'm a very empathic person, I should say. I have a lot of empathy, and I feel for people, and I put myself in their shoes, but I'm also trying to think very logically about this. And if you have, so unfortunate, but you have elderly people and or immune suppressed people that already have degenerative diseases or inflammatory diseases and issues with the immune system and issues with the respiratory system, and then they get something like this, it's going to be hard for them. And on top of that, from what I've gone over in other videos and from what I've shared in videos that I've mirrored, they're also not being treated correctly. You have on top of that, you have the malpractice going on, the negligence. If you listen to any of the 2 videos that I put up of the nurses that are speaking out on the atrocities that are going on in these hospitals as far as the venting operations, the venting being done too quickly, the venting happening and they don't even need to be on a ventilator. They're being negligent. There's nobody advocating for these patients. They're being being tube fed and it's being shoved into their lungs and they're drowning. There's stories of them putting the tube down their throat to vent them, and they cut into an artery or something, they cut into the throat, and the person drowned to death in their own blood. Like, people are not, they're being given the wrong dosages of insulin. There's like a lot of malpractice, a lot of negligence, a lot of fear, a lot of probably tired people, but yet there's nurses waiting in the sidelines in hotels and not being used. So people are being overworked, but they're not utilizing their resources. People that don't know how to do certain procedures are being forced to do them and learn on the fly. There's a lot of really bad things going on in hospitals, and then you have no advocacy. You have nobody to advocate for you and no one to plead your case, no family to come and visit with you. Just a lot of bad stuff going on. A lot of bad stuff. So, once you get to that point and you already have, you're already immune suppressed and you already have pre-existing conditions that put your respiratory system into stress and weaken it, then you get into a hospital where your treatment could possibly be horrific. You don't have really good chances. But I'm finding, this is just a fellow employee, and he was getting irritated, I could tell. And I'm like, I just dropped it. I just can only say so much. Found out today that past employees from where I work, them and some part-time employees are getting together on social media and they're bashing some of the rest of us employees because we're not wearing the mask correctly, or because in the morning at 5 a.m. when we have no customers, they're not wearing a mask because they're huffing and puffing and, hauling ass trying to get stuff done, and they can't breathe with a mask on, and there's no customers in there, and everybody's really, really spread out. There's very sparse employees, and they're having, excuse my language, they're having a shit fit over it. And they have no education on any of this. They have no idea that those paper masks and those the cloth masks that we're giving are doing squat to protect them from a virus. And anyway, who cares? If they're wearing their mask, so be it. They're fine. Whoever that person is that doesn't want to wear a mask while they're huffing and puffing and they're loading heavy product and restocking shelves, they're not hurting anybody but themselves, and it's their prerogative. That's their freedom. It's their body, their choice. We talk about that all the time. It just boggles my mind. And these are people that, pretend to be your friend and will pretend to be an acquaintance and, work side by side with you, and then completely throw you on their bus behind your back later. I'm finding out, who is trustworthy, who really is friend-worthy, who is worthy of your time in a relationship. And as I go, there's people even closer to me that I know are angry. I see the comments on social media. They're frustrated. They're lashing out because of their fear and their frustration and their anger. But they're not lashing out at the right people. They're lashing out at friends who visit with them and help them do, projects around their house, and, they're like family, and we love them. And yet, because of what's going on now, they are taking the word of media, and they are taking the word of people like Bill Gates, who has come straight up out and told us that he is all for population reduction, that we have too many people in the world. And then he wants to come out with a vaccination. He was involved in an event which was called Event 201. He was involved in the planning of a mock pandemic. And now it's happening exactly the way they planned it. And it just so happens he wants to come out with a vaccine that's supposedly going to cure it. And it just so happens this is the man who says he's all for planned population reduction and wants to limit the amount of people on Earth. Are we not putting two and two together? Bill Gates, who maimed and paralyzed hundreds of thousands of people in Africa. Or maybe tens of thousands. I don't know the exact number, but it was way too many. Oh, there's an accident. Oh my goodness. I hope they're okay. It's rainy and foggy. That's why I'm doing this hands-free. Anyway, it's starting to get to me. I have some very close friends that are getting it. They're actually listening to what I'm saying. They're watching the videos that I'm posting. They're watching the videos that I share. They're watching and reading the things that I share and post that are doctors and nurses, virologists, people that know what they're talking about, coming out against the COVID-19, saying that it's not a pandemic, saying that it's being mistreated, saying that there are gentle, easier, natural remedies for this, that the numbers are lying, that the tests are false positives, that it is hard to test for this because everyone that's gotten the flu vaccine with coronavirus in it are going to test positive. 80% of the tests are false positives. The media is lying, and the hospitals are lying and saying that more people are dying from COVID-19 when they're not, and it's coming out. It's coming out in news articles. It's coming out because doctors and nurses are telling people. They're actually admitting that they lied and that they falsified information when it comes to who was actually dying from COVID-19 and who was dying from actual other causes. But yet, nobody, certain friends are not listening to that. Certain acquaintances are not listening to that. Certain fellow employees are not listening to that. What do you guys want? Do you want us to make a cartoon and then you'll listen to it? If the cartoon plays on, CNN, will you listen to it then? Are you not going to listen to real doctors and real nurses coming out on private social medias and they're private channels to talk about what's going on because they fear for their life, because they're going against the government and they're going against big pharma, and they have no other way. Some of the nurses that I've talked to and some of the nurses that I've listened to the videos on, they have gone to the people in charge in the hospital. They have gone to the head nurses. They have gone above and beyond to try to get the word out, some of the malpractice and the negligence that's going on, some of the lies, and the people that are being murdered that don't need to be dying, it's just from negligence and malpractice. Yes, they have COVID-19, but that's not what they're dying from. These nurses and the doctors are crying out for help, and they're putting out there on social media because it's something that can get out to the public, or at least they feel like it's a safe way. And then people are still not listening. What do you guys want? Does the president need to say it? Do you really trust him? It's unbelievable. It's just really getting to me. Because these are people that I love. And people that, I look up to. And people that I look towards as strongholds in my life. People that I idolize. And it's like I've lost credibility because they would rather believe their TV. Throw that shit away. Haven't had TV programming since January 2019. like a year and a half. And I know that helps. Hardly listen to the radio anymore. That's what I do when I get in my car. Because the radio, all you hear is COVID-19 this, COVID-19 that. What can you trust? On the flip side, I'm finding that a lot of friends on social media and friends in real life are waking up. And they are getting it. And they are questioning it. And God bless them. Good for you. You're showing signs of intellect, intelligence, independent thought. Stop listening to the TV. Did you guys know that the media was given permission like years ago to lie? They were given permission. There was a law passed that they are allowed to lie. They can say whatever they want. And their hospitals are getting paybacks. If they say someone has COVID-19 and it's a positive test, they get $13,000. And these are doctors telling us this. And if they get put on a ventilator, it's $39,000. It's a money-making scheme. People are dying because of it. Stop getting disappointed in your friends that are questioning the narrative. Stop getting disappointed and angry. Don't get on social media and say you need to wear your mask because it makes other people feel awkward or embarrassed. Or you need to wear your mask because it protects other people. Fuck that. Excuse my language. You're not protecting anybody. Those paper masks and those fabric masks are not protecting anybody from anything, but it's making people sick. And if you want to wear your mask because you're afraid, then you're fine. If you want to believe that, you think that's protecting you, you're fine. It doesn't matter if I wear it. And I don't give a shit if I'm making someone feel uncomfortable. If I don't have to wear it and I'm not being forced and I can fight it, I'm not going to wear it. I am not going to rebreathe my CO2. I am not going to keep rebreathing mold and fungus spores that collect on that moist mask as you're breathing in and out of it all day. Just so I can make someone else feel comfortable, and just so I can make people think that you're breathing out the virus, and like that your paper mask is going to save you, or like your cloth mask is going to save you. It's bullshit. Doctors and nurses are telling you that, and you're not listening. Sorry. Not sorry. Be mad at the right reasons. Gave you a whole lot of them in this video log. Don't be mad at your friends. You better get a whole lot of love out. Because that mask is making you mean. That mask is making you bitter. And the TV is making you fearful. And the TV is making you hateful. You're falling into the trap. It's becoming a civil war. People are fighting against each other. That's not what you need to be doing. Start fighting the hospitals that are mistreating people. Start fighting the government that's taking away your freedoms. Start questioning why this is happening. Sunshine out.